Amanda here has a great question. Why, when you vote for Ford, does it not affect Carney? And it's because we're at three different levels of government that don't actually impact each other as much as they rub up against each other and overlap. I have an analogy. Let's pretend like we are all in high school. We're 16 years old, we're going to school, we're living at home, and we got a part-time job. When I was 16, I worked at Dairy Queen. So I had three bosses. I had my parents, I had my teachers, and I had my bosses at Dairy Queen. And all three of those people were making rules about what I could and could not do during different facets of my life. And sometimes those rules interacted with each other, brushed up against each other, or were congruent. You know, my boss at Dairy Queen did not give me shifts while I was at school because she knew that that was when the teacher was in charge of me. And you couldn't go to your parents and complain about your boss's rules because it made no difference. You couldn't go to your teacher and complain about your parents' rules because it made no difference. And that's exactly what we have now. We have three levels of government. You have your municipal government, your parents, your provincial government, your teachers, and your federal government, your boss. And while they are all making rules for you, they are not connected. When you vote provincially, for Ford or for Merritt. I'm sorry, I'm from BC. I don't remember her last name right now. When you vote for them, it has no impact on the federal election because you're not voting for your boss, you're voting for your teacher. So while your teacher and your boss have things that go back and forth together, such as education and health, they don't actually affect each other in the rankings. So again, you can't go to your boss to talk about your teacher. You can't go to your teacher to talk about your parents. If you want to talk about Ford, you have to do that provincially. If you want to talk about Carney, you have to do that federally. Your mayors don't interact with your premiers, and your premiers don't interact with your prime ministers. It's three different levels. And I agree. I don't necessarily think that Carney is going to be the best choice, but voting for Ford is not going to have any effect on Carney. All that's going to do is keep Merritt Stiles out. Oh, I remembered their name. That's going to keep Stiles out, but it's not going to keep Carney out because what you're doing is you're voting at school. You're not voting at work. I hope that made sense. Have a great